Have you guys ever went through anything in your life where you just couldn't figure out how it turned out the way it did? You know, I mean, who would have ever thought that God would arrange this thing to where the mama gives the baby up and then the mama takes care of the baby? Isn't that weird? And you know her heart was broken to put her baby in that, not knowing anything about what was going to happen. And I know my mom felt that way about me. Every time I'd leave, you know, even as a youngin', you know, I would just basically flip them off. I'm out of here. I'd rather sleep in somebody's back of a car, sleep in the back seat of somebody's car, than stay here in this awesome house, you know, my own room, you know. But it was the rebellion. But Moses was able to go full circle. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." Wow. Gets an income out of it too. So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She didn't have anything to give him. But Pharaoh's daughter could offer him royalty. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." So Moses then was raised in royalty. I tell you guys, compared to most of the world, we're living in royalty. I don't know if any of you guys have been to third world countries. Whew! It is a mess. Talk about poverty. My gosh. You know, we take these things for granted. You know, we eat more in a day than a lot of these people eat in a month. You know, people are starving to death right now in the world, and we have lavish lives, and what a sad thing that is. That in a world of plenty, little kids are dying of starvation. It is amazing. So in Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 to 15, we're just continuing on. One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at their hard labor. So now he's living in as royalty, and all of the people who are his people, the Hebrews, are out there working. I mean, not just working. These guys are being treated like slaves. It says, so he went out there and watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his people, one of his own people, glancing this way and that. So have you guys ever done that? When you're getting ready to do a deed, you know? You know, before you do your deed, you'll make sure nobody can see you, right? And a lot of people do that when they're just tweaking. And there ain't nobody there anyway. But we make sure the coast is clear. And we look around, make sure there's nobody. We don't want any witnesses to what we're getting ready to do. Well, Moses did that. People don't think about it when they read this, you know. He was checking out to make sure, because he was getting ready to do something horrible, you know. So he's checking this out because he's planning on intervening here. He's planning on, now premeditated is what the courts call it. He was planning on intervening here, and so he's looking around making sure that nobody can see, glancing this way and that, and seeing no one, so the coast is clear. He killed the Egyptian. I mean, can you imagine now this is an Egyptian guard, and he just looked around and killed the dude. Moses must have been a bad hombre now, you know, because the only thing stopping him from killing somebody is if there's anybody looking. Nobody's looking, kill him. He killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out. Now he just thought he'd done a good thing, man. He stood up for one of his countrymen. The next day he went out and saw two Hebrews fighting. He asked one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" Remember when Moses looked around and didn't see anybody? He probably didn't look far enough. "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us?" You know, even though Moses had just intervened and saved one of the Hebrews from getting beat up bad, maybe killed, the other ones now are saying, "Well, you did one thing, but what gives you the right to tell us what to do?" And so it said, "Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Oh, somebody saw. He didn't look far enough. And so now Moses knows that somebody's got something on him. Right? Then Moses was afraid and thought, "What I did must have become known." When Pharaoh heard of this, so naturally he's going to get back to Pharaoh, he tried to kill Moses. Now, can you imagine Pharaoh tried to kill somebody? I mean, you'd think he would just tell his crew, "Kill the dude, be done with it." But it says Moses tried to kill Moses. Pharaoh tried to kill Moses. Now, can you imagine? God was doing a work here, guys, because God had plans for Moses. And so, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by a wall. And that's what we do, guys. In our mess, when the heat gets too strong, we take off. I don't know about you guys, but it ain't fun running from the feds. Them boys are smart. They are. I've never seen nothing like it. But there's a gut feeling you got here, man, that is amazing. So if there was a faraway place where they didn't go or didn't know about, I'd be running there. And that's what Moses did. He was afraid for his life and fled. Well, God was in all this, guys. God was giving him a place to go to for security, for safety for a while, until he implemented the plan that God's got for his life. And guys, that is the same thing that God has done to us. For a long time, God has kept us safe, directed us to safety, protected us from being killed. Can you imagine Pharaoh wanting him dead and he's still living there and he doesn't get killed? Only God could pull that off. You know. And God has done that, I know, to many of us in this room, protected us from those things. Because what's coming is so awesome, man. It is so awesome what's coming. You know. First of all, I believe that real soon, I think that the rapture is going to happen soon. But here's one thing I want to tell you guys. Think about this. I don't believe that God is saving us just to be able to go into the rapture. If he is saving us from our own lifestyle, there's a reason. And he has plans for us. That